Hey guys, Philosophy JKD back here once again. One Piece, man. 1099 spoilers. Basically proves, if you listen to my previous videos, okay? I said it. I said everything. I was in those spoilers. Dragon's gonna introduce Kuma to Vegapunk. Check. Okay. I predicted that when he gives her the pom pom away to where she wants to go, that she would end up accidentally eating a devil fruit. I think that's gonna end up coming through. Um, very interesting, man. I have a theory now that we find out that Saturn has been spying on Vegapunk secretly. I think I was also right by saying Saint J. Garcia Saturn is actually Bonnie's father, who cast her out as an act of kindness. Okay, so and kindness to himself and her, where she could be free, her mother could be free, and he could not have to see her pass away. So I think he's creeping on Vegapunk because he's really spying on his daughter Bonnie. Okay, that's what I think is going on there. It's like he's like the creepy dad who has a stepdad taking care of his kid and doesn't want to pay child support. you know, so that's very interesting stuff. And I have another theory. It was gonna come. I think it's gonna actually be proven to be somewhat true. Okay, I've been right so far about God Valley. I've been right. I think that Rocks. Okay, I think that Rocks is not the strongest person per se. I think his devil fruit gave him the ability, and I think his mind gave him the ability to be the leader of the Rocks Pirates. And I'm saying this based off a couple of things. Look at his name, Rocks. Why would he get the name Rocks? How could he put such chaotic members like Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, Shiki, Zhong Shi, Stussy? How could he have put all these pirates who would kill each other, fight each other, nonstop? How could he get all these guys together? You have to have an intelligence or leadership skills, different type of leadership skills in order to succeed. Not every leader has to be the strongest. Sometimes leadership is knowing how to sit back. Sometimes a good leader knows how to put different skill sets into action amongst a group. Sometimes a leader just knows how to manipulate people in their group to motivate them. And I think that's probably one of the leadership styles of Rocks. And I wouldn't be surprised if he also got the name Rocks because he had the chop chop fruit. Ding, ding, ding. like Buggy, okay? Which means if he could use hockey, he would be impervious in terms of rock, paper, scissors, where he could actually beat Roger. But he should probably struggle against a Garp because he couldn't be chopped with armored hockey and observation hockey. He would neutralize Roger's ability to cut him with Ace, his sword, one of the one of the great swords that exist. Therefore, he'd be a major thorn in Roger's side if he wanted to be. But at the same time, he didn't seem to have an animosity Roger at God Valley. He just said to Roger, "You're in my way. I'm coming here to get what belongs to me." Okay, so we know that Rox is covetous. We know Rox is a collector. He collected very rare devil fruits. He collected some of the strongest pirates, which made him the strongest pirate crew of all time. There we are. And this is my second prediction. Not just that Rox is he's basically Buggy with hockey, but he's not a coward. He's an intelligent Buggy, an ambitious Buggy. And I think that Buggy gets the chop chop fruit as a result of the interaction and the death of Rocks on God Valley. Okay? And I think that Rocks had a awakened form of the chop chop fruit that may have ended up giving Blackbeard part of his will or part of his parents' will. Well, at the same time, Buggy has his devil fruit. Now, Buggy and Teach or Blackbeard look to be around the same age, if not the same age. I believe they are dizygote twins, better known as fraternal twins. Twins that do not look alike, but basically could be as different as siblings. And I believe that Blackbeard, being the older brother, inherited the will of his father and the past memories. So Teach probably knows that Buggy is his brother, but Buggy, not having inherited that will and probably taken after maybe his mother, um, does not know who Teach is. He just knows there's something weird about Teach. And Buggy's the mind. Buggy and Blackbeard both inherited the different type of leadership styles of their father. They're both intellectual, they're both intelligent. There's some similarities between Buggy and Teach. Okay? There's not just similarities between Luffy and Teach. You know, how they have similar goals to liberate. Buggy really doesn't care about liberating anybody. He wants the greed. He's the covetous part, the intelligence to put a group together while at the same time knowing how to appear as a leader, but at the same time willing to recognize he's not the strongest. And you get a hint of that in God Valley when Whitebeard says to Rocks, don't pretend you're my equal. So Whitebeard knows that, hey, I'm stronger than you. Okay? You may have certain skill sets, and those skill sets were all sought after by people like Shanks, okay? Sought after um, by Whitebeard. When you look at the Battle of the Best, Whitebeard asked Buggy to join him. Why? I think Whitebeard knows that Buggy could possibly be the son of Rocks. And I think that Whitebeard may have had a suspicion about Blackbeard and was hesitant to add him to his crew because Whitebeard is shown to have a certain intuition about strong people, but he's also wise. He's a very wise. He was a very wise Yonka compared to the other ones. He was honorable. He was covetous in the sense that he internalized his crew members as family, creating a double-sided sword. You know, something that he would fight for, but at the same time, something that if he accepted you, you now are part of him, and losing you hurts him. You know. So those are my predictions so far. I mean, how does it work? How does Blackbeard end up with the will of Rocks? How does he know certain things? They say he's an archaeologist. Maybe because he inherited that knowledge from his father. So the three-head Cerberus, who actually has more heads, but mythologically they normally say the three-headed dog who guards the gates of hell, keeping the gates of hell full with inhabitants, and only lets people in and people out at his will. I think that Buggy the Clown is basically like Rocks. Therefore, Shanks, he told Buggy, okay, when they went to Laugh when Roger and Dark King Rayleigh and his crew went into Laugh to really look at the One thing to gain control of the One Piece. Shanks said one day, you and me will come back with our own crew. I think Shanks knew something or came across a certain set of knowledge where he was now aware that now's not the time. Now's not the time for us to actually get the One Piece. Something's going to happen in the future. And I don't know how Shanks knows this. I don't know if Shanks has certain abilities like Saturn where he has multiple memories, you know, because he's displayed abilities that are not normal abilities. Super speed, enhanced observation Haki, rare Haki, rare conquerors Haki. Okay? We know he is a descendant of the Figureland family, and we know that the head of the Figureland family, at some point, or maybe even currently, is the head of the God's Knight and has the power to execute celestial dragons. There's something more to be revealed in One Piece, not just about the characters alone, but what is the will of D? What is inherited will? Because it may be that other people do inherit certain people's ideologies or wills or even memories. It's a phenomenon even in the real world. I mean, if you watch my videos, or if you even know me in real life, I predict things far out into the future. I predict things before they happen, and I'm never wrong. Okay, so um, with that said, one day I'm gonna start talking about politics, maybe on another channel once this one gets enough subscribers. So if you like my content so far, and I'm seeing people watching them. I'm seeing the hours tick up. Please subscribe, because after a certain amount of subscribers, um, you know, I can have an actual official channel where I can just treat this as work more. Um, and like, if you the likes drive the people to actually get a chance to hear what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, I say something now, and you're seeing I'm seeing people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers saying exactly what I'm saying. They may never say where they're getting it from, but that's the hundredth monkey effect. We can all authentically steal from each other. We can, and there's no, shouldn't have the covetous feeling about that. You know, a person plays quarterback well. Other quarterbacks look at with, ooh, he did this well. I like this. I like this concept, this game. An artist creates a new form of art. People begin to mimic it and put that into their patterns. I think I think people can authentically steal things, where there's not intellectual properties inscribed on them. Yeah, we kind of drive up the culture. That lifting of the tide raises all ships. So I love it, man. I'm seeing more. Even I'm not saying that these other content creators don't have good content, but they're listening. They're clearly. Oda, I believe he's listening. So, um, yeah, guys, Philosophy JKD. Please, like I said, subscribe, like. Hope you enjoyed the video. I want it to be relatively short. I just want to come back and say, look, I'm right again. And that rightness opens up the door now for why I think that Saturn, not only Kizaru, not only certain admirals, not just the pacifista, not just the seraphim, we're going to see a Gorosei, not necessarily defect, because I think he has to keep his position, because evil will be on him, okay? He's going to come after him. If Saturn is Bonnie's true father, if Saturn does appreciate the scientific technologies that Vegapunk brought to the world, and him curing Sapphire Skull, okay, it's very possible that he's going to take pity, because he said it himself. If your fate allows you to get out of here, I'd very much like to see how you're going to escape this. He's rooting for the people. He may be a monster himself. He may have a bad perspective of humanity as insects, but that's where he's been brought up. If imagine being a billionaire or a multimillionaire for hundreds of years. That just from the money alone changes people's perspectives. I remember growing up not very wealthy. Lower middle class, but working hard. And as soon as people get a certain amount of money, they don't want to be around people that aren't trying to build themselves up. They can get away from the garbage, the games, the violence, the drugs, the murder. You get out, you know, and that changing of your economics, that changing of your atmosphere, because environment is a very powerful thing. Having the mind and nurture and the mind, the nature to do well, want to do well, be usurped greatly by somebody giving you acts of violence, or by somebody taking opportunity from you. Or all the only good examples you have are of drug dealers, murderers, pimps, gang members, mafia types, you know? So, with that said, that's why Saturn is the way he is. Those celestial dragons have been living above the grand line for generations. They've developed decadence. Okay? They say luxury. They say, what's the quote? I'm gonna paraphrase it. I'm gonna paraphrase it. They say that hard times build character, adversity builds character, luxury creates decadence. Okay, so that's what I think we're seeing here. Yeah, I think Saturn is going to give an okey doke and actually let the Straw Hats go, or he's going to go half step it like Kizaru did against Luffy, or because he doesn't want to kill Vegapunk. That's what I think's going down on Egghead. And when that happens, when Luffy leaves Egghead, he's gonna have arguably the strongest pirate crew. Arguably the strongest pirate crew. And now we got to figure out what's going down because he's going to have the Grand Fleet. He's going to have an armada of pacifistas. We may even find that Kuma gets his consciousness back in the form of Seraphim Bear. Because if Saturn is loving his daughter Bonnie, but at the same time protected Kuma by taking his memories away and making him a true tool that will always be someone to watch over his empire and his daughter for him, while removing himself from the Buccaneer genetics, which put him at odds against the world government and the sins of his fathers to them. Not that it's a true sin that he did, but anytime a person loses a war, there's always a price to pay. There's always a retelling of history. So the good guys are the people that stood for the right thing, maybe cast in the light of being the bad guys or the tyrants. So that's my perspectives of things that are going down. My track record has been pretty good, and this is like the greatest experience ever. I'm getting a chance, to actually let a larger crowd of people know what's going down. You know, um, so till next time, guys. Philosophy signing out.